be the last video of this little series, I guess, going across Canada. I'll shoot it before it gets dark. It's gonna be a little bit of a rant. First off, when you're passing a truck and you're pulling back in, you don't have to pull right in front of the truck. This ain't NASCAR. You don't need to bump draft me. You're not gonna get close enough to have any effect anyway. As one guy did that to me, he happened to have a CB radio. I asked him why he felt the need to almost cut me off to get in front of me. And his reply was, "Don't worry, I'm not gonna hit you." Well, probably 999 out of 1,000 times that's true. But what would happen the moment he pulled in front of me if a deer or something was to jump out in front of him and him slam on the brakes? What would happen? I would rear end him, because I cannot stop as quick as a car or a pickup truck. So yes, the majority of the time nothing would happen. No big deal. But guess what? That one time could happen and didn't need to happen. The other thing I want to rant about is people parking on the side of the highway to walk their dog, have a cigarette, get out and pee, have a picnic, or any other non-essential, non-emergency reason. In this day and age, people have a lot of stuff in their vehicles and are very distracted. It takes 1 minute, 1 second of them being distracted and you're dead. And they might be dead. The only time you should be parking on the side of a highway is if you have an emergency. You have a flat tire, your car's broke down. Not to let your dog out to pee, to have a cigarette, for you to go to the bathroom, to have a picnic. I've seen it on the side of a highway, right beside the car, people having a picnic. I mean, where's the common sense? And then you got one time in South Carolina or North Carolina, I can't remember what it was. The guy pulled off the highway onto the grass to take a pee. While he's peeing, 10 feet from his car in plain sight, his car exhaust lights the grass underneath his car, and his car is about to go up in flames. While he's peeing, I witnessed it. This was like 19 years ago, before video cameras were so prevalent, but I wish I had a video camera then, because that video would have been amazing. But anyway, people, there's plenty of exits. They're everywhere. if you don't pull into a parking lot, at least pull onto to an off ramp or something. People are a little bit more aware when they're driving on an off ramp than they are on the highway. And like I said, you pull your car off too far and you might light it up in the grass. Catalytic converters run extremely hot, and some tall grass, dry, and guess what? You're not going to have a car anymore. Besides those two rants, when you drive a truck for a living, working as much as we do, most of us, I normally work 14 to 16 hour days, depending on if I'm in the US or Canada and the law allows. And some days aren't as long, but I'd say 70% of them are as long as I can go legally. I don't get to see or hear much of the news. I tend to listen to talk shows, entertainment talk shows, and music and stuff like that. I don't listen to the news very often because it's, quite frankly, depressing and never really good. But occasionally I'll turn the news on to catch up. And today I was listening to the news of the 30 tornadoes that happened over 6 states the other night. Devastating, and I feel horrible for all the people that lost their life. Like I was telling you yesterday, I believe, with the global warming, a lot of people that don't believe in global warming say, well, the last decade or so there's been some abnormally cold weather in the United States during the winter. Global warming does not mean it warms up everywhere all the time. Global warming is warming of the atmosphere globally. We've had some record colds in certain spots and some record warms in other spots. And that is because when you warm the globe, it changes weather patterns. That is why the United States is seeing some cold winters. Because the warm air is affecting the patterns, and the colder air is reaching further south. So a lot of people that don't believe in global warming say something to that effect. Well, it's not true because it's been colder here. Well, like Donald Trump once said, bring on global warming because it's some cold here. Well, yeah, well, Donald Trump's a fucking idiot. Sorry for the language. And I could go on about politics, but I won't. The fact of the matter is global warming is a thing. And just looking at this video, you'll see global warming again. this area by now is usually covered in snow. And it's not. It's the middle of December. It is 5 degrees outside, around 42, something around there, 41, 42 degrees. It's normally a foot of snow here and minus 1 or 2, 30, 28, 30 degrees. And as you can see, it's not. But back to those tornadoes. So from what little I heard on the news today, there was 30 tornadoes in 6 states. And one of the tornadoes was on the ground for 230 miles. It was the worst outbreak of tornadoes in history, and it happened when tornadoes are rare, in December, in the winter. Now, like I was saying yesterday, it was 19 degrees in Toronto. That's a cool summer day. But it is a summer day. Not a winter day, a summer day. And like I was saying this morning, I was in Montreal, just outside of Montreal. Another place that normally, well, it used to have snow in December. It was 15 degrees when I went to bed. 100 kilometer or 60 mile an hour winds. And raining cats and dogs. When I woke up this morning, it was 1 degree or 33. And it cooled off, and 150 kilometers away as I was driving down the road, it was apparent that that area saw less rain and less heat and still had snow all over the ground. That area is usually about 6 degrees colder than Montreal because you kind of head north. But yeah, tornadoes in December. And that particular night, I guess the worst of the tornadoes was in Kentucky. That night that they happened, I happened to be in Ohio, a neighboring state. I didn't even know that. I looked at the weather and it said tornado watch to the south of where I was. I picked up in central Ohio and spent the night in northern Ohio. But yeah, it's kind of scary when you realize some of these things that are happening around you. I was probably 600 kilometers away by the way the crow flies. Not by highway, but 600 kilometers or 372 miles away from these tornadoes. Not very far. So in a matter of 2 days, I went from minus 15 or degrees below zero and snow, or single about 5 degrees Fahrenheit, to summer day and tornadoes in 2 days. The weather's crazy now, and it's only going to get worse. Something to think about. Pulling in front of a truck, you don't need to do it. Give them some space. Parking on the side of the interstate or a highway, don't do it unless it's an emergency. Lots of exits. Pull onto a ramp, safely get off the highway, and safely get back on the highway. Better yet, find a parking lot off the ramp. It's not hard. You'll waste maybe 3 minutes at the most, besides pulling off on the side of the highway. And is 3 minutes worth your life? I would think so. Might not happen, but it could happen. And global warming. I know, I drive a truck. I burn lots of fossil fuels. It's my job. I'm not a scientist. If I could drive something different, I would. But this is what I do, and this is what I have. My car, it's not a hybrid, it's not an electric, but it does do hybrid numbers. It only burns 6 liters per 100 kilometers. It's pretty fuel efficient. I'm not perfect. I want to go solar, but my house has electric heat, and I use a lot of electricity, and when I use a lot of solar panels, and people just don't want to give money out. I mean, my heat bill would cover the monthly bill I have for solars, but banks just don't want to help you out these days. So I'm looking into other options, waiting for the Canadian government to give an interest-free loan. That's a possibility, but it takes money to make money. And I don't have enough of it to do that. I would love to go solar. Anybody want to sponsor me and build a solar system? I'll pay you. I'll pay you my electric bill every month for the next 10 years. Build me a solar system that'll cover my electric bill, and I will pay you my monthly power bill for the next 10 years. And I believe the latest system had me getting it paid off in 9.6 years or something. But anyway, that's my last video for this series. And I know I'm ranting, but it's just some of the things I feel strongly about out here. Have a good one. And if you want more and better videos, subscribe. Every subscription, if I start getting paid to make these, I will buy better equipment. I will buy editing equipment. But until then, I have a job. 14 to 16 hours a day. I don't get time to edit and all that other stuff. I have a family. When I'm home, I spend my time with them. So, hit the like, subscribe, get me up there, and I'll start making better videos. Till the next one, bye.